Hi everyone, this video is long overdue with Mark actually. It's been too long, we've been saying for ages we were going to do it, and so we've penciled out a bit of time out of both our busy diaries. Mark's a lot busier than me with all the juggling you do with all your entrepreneurial businesses.
Yeah.
And we're going to keep this video pretty short, just 3 questions, but also look out for a longer interview with Mark that we're going to publish some details soon. So I hope you enjoy. Mark, what's changed since winning Fish and Chips of the Year award in 2006, was it?
Yeah, January 2007, so it's a 2006 title. So what's changed with me, or what's changed with the industry?
The industry.
The industry. Oh damn, I was hoping you were going to ask what's changed with me.
Well, go for both.
Okay, so everything's changed in the industry. The world has changed massively since 2007. Look at social media. It just wasn't a thing in 2007. I launched Chippy Chat in 2006, and Facebook hadn't even been invented. So the way that we're reaching our customers, the various platforms in how we can grow our businesses, the challenges and the opportunities that come from that, obviously have been a massive change to the industry. I see businesses now that aren't doing as good a fish and chips as other shops that are struggling, but because their social media is so good, they're winning business. And you might think that's not right, but it's happening.
Yeah.
So not only do we have to be excellent cooks and be passionate about fish and chips, we also have to be excellent marketeers. So
there's no point being great if nobody knows.
Of course,
Yeah.
If you don't tell, you don't sell.
Yeah.
And so I mean that's one change. Education has become almost redundant. I've got 2 young kids that are going to school now, and I feel as though they're at school just learning how to be conditioned to working 9 to 5 Monday to Friday. What they're actually learning is going to have no use to them when they're adults. You know, and I think that the people that are in power making decisions have lost touch with where the world is heading.
Yeah.
Because they're a generation apart from what's happening, today.
Yeah.
And so there are some massive challenges outside of fish and chips that are filtering back down into fish and chips. So having said that, it's not doom and gloom. These are exciting times.
So really every fish and chip shop should have like a social media profile.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's free for a start. So
Every fish and chip shop needs to be relevant and current and in tune with their own communities. It's what we've done for the last 150 years. Every fish and chip shop is tailored to the needs of its own customer base. You know, no 2 fish and chip shops are the same, and that's as important today as it's always been, but the challenges facing us are slightly different.
yeah. As far as I know, you were one of the earliest people that I know doing homemade fish cakes and so on. Enlighten us and the viewers a little bit on how they can make more sales and more profit from homemade items.
Okay, well, the first thing I want to say is that I've always believed that profit's made when you're closed. As an operator, you know, you can make or lose a lot of money when you're shut. And when your business is open, you shouldn't focus on profit. You should focus on making customers. Customers are not sales. Sales take place once. Customers are like a chain of sales. So in my business, I always say, focus on the profit when you're closed, focus on the customer when you're open. And part of that ethos about making profit when you're shut led me to the idea of making my own fish cakes. Before it was
A thing.
a popular thing. And the great thing about making your own fish cakes is, and I'll give you 5, there are more, but I can think of 5 straight away, is first of all, it reduces waste. And consumers are more and more aware about what they're putting inside themselves, more aware of the responsibility to the planet. And I pay for my fish by the slab, and I want to get as much yield from my slab as I can. So the first thing is it reduces waste. You're putting less stuff in the bin, and you're using all of the fish. The second thing is it's more profitable. When you make your own products, you're pushing costs and sales in 2 opposite directions, and profit lives in between costs and sales. So in terms of profit, making your own fish cakes it makes good financial sense to do that. The third thing is it adds value to your brand. So whatever your brand is, if you are Mr. Cod or whatever, knowing that you can get a homemade fish cake from your shop kind of sets you apart. It makes you just a little bit cooler, you know. It adds value to what you're doing. People perceive you as being better than somebody who buys in a regularly made product. So it really adds value. It also ties in customers. So if people come and they love your fish cake, they fall in love with your fish cake, they can't get it anywhere else. So you're promoting customer loyalty.
Rather than just opening a box and giving them a generic item that they can get from anywhere.
Yeah, which comes on to the fifth thing, which it makes price less relevant. So if you're selling the same fish cake as Mr. Chips or Mr. Fish down the road, people can choose on price. And when you've got a product that is superior because you can brag about what goes into it, you know there are no hidden nasties in there, not that there would be in a bought-in one.
Disclaimer.
Let's just stay on the right side of things here. But you can boast what goes into it. You've added value. Price becomes irrelevant because when people go into a shop and they're looking at the same product as what they can get elsewhere, the decision comes from here. But when you walk into a shop and you see homemade and it's a superior product, the decision comes from here. And price just goes out the window. So you get your extra profit from that as well. Yeah. So you know the cost of the product is less to produce, and what you can actually charge for it is higher. So
last question, as promised. What advice could you give to anybody in the trade to improve their business?
Okay, so when people come into fish and chips, it's quite common. I won't say it's always happens, but quite common to inherit bad habits from the previous owner, or out of a genuine desire to keep your ship steady, to carry on historic practices. We are a fantastic business. Fish and chips is an amazing trade. There's a network of 10,000 independent retailers out there. Be part of it. The one piece of advice I would give to anyone coming into the trade or already in the trade is make friends in the trade, because the knowledge base that you can tap into as a resource is fantastic. I started Chippy Chat back in 2006. I created an online community where we knowledge shared, and I believe that the legacy of that, although it's been superseded by social media and Facebook and other groups, is that it's promoted comradeship and sharing. And as much as you may think you know it all, there are people out there that have seen it and done it, and there's a certain amount of sieving that you have to do, and you have to pick the sweet corn out of it, but become friends with other friars, talk to other friars, and keep your mind open for learning. I don't go through a day in this business where I don't learn something, and there's nothing shameful in adopting something that you've seen from another shop. Most of the best friars that I look up to in the industry are as good as they are because of the company they keep and the fact that they are always looking to improve. So that's the best advice I can give. There's loads more, but you've got to pay me for that. you've got to pay me.
Yeah, and we need a bit more than 9 minutes.
Yeah,
so, yeah.
But that's that's the best advice I give.
Fantastic. I think that's great advice. I just want to say thanks to Mark. We did say we were going to keep it short and sweet because Mark.
A bit like me, I'm short and sweet
and round. Sorry.
Thanks, man.
Sorry.
Appreciate that.
And so we just want to keep this short and sweet, but keep your eyes peeled because there's going to be a longer interview with Mark. We're just about to go through it, and we'll announce it soon. So be sure to share, subscribe, and comment, and reach out to Mark and ask him whatever you want. Have a good one.